Hello, what's up, guys? I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to the Canadian Gooner YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about a few things. One, we're going to talk about Saka's fitness and my thoughts on what we should do with him in tomorrow's match against Brighton. Next, we're going to talk about ESR. Does ESR, after that game on Wednesday against Luton Town, after his performance, do I believe he now has a role to play to finish out the season? Next, we'll talk about something I've noticed in Arteta's recent press conferences. And this is very, very calm, composed, confident, relaxed demeanor. And finally, I'll quickly touch on the order of the games this weekend between Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. And this is a small thing. May seem like a small thing, but I think that's an important thing between now and the end of the season. Who plays first on the weekend? Who plays second? Who plays third? Where does the pressure lie? So let's start off. Saka. So in this morning's press conference, Arteta spoke about Saka. Said we'll find out more today, after today's training session, whether or not he will be fit and ready to start tomorrow. So he spoke a couple days ago about he had just a small problem against Luton Town, and that's why he was left out of the squad completely. It was related to a similar problem he had against City, which I would assume is related to the problem that kept him out of the international break a couple weeks ago. And I've heard from certain sources, reliable sources, that it's a slight hamstring issue. So for me, again, guys, I mentioned this on my video yesterday. For me, unless he's 110% fit, that hamstring is just full-blown, ready to go. For me, we don't start him. There's no point in starting him. We have adequate backup for him, especially now at this point of the season. We don't have as much of a reliance on him as we've had over the past year and a half, 2 years. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. That means we can allow him to rest. That means we can rely on other players in attack. That means we can bring in other players, keep everyone fresh, and continue scoring goals and keeping the ball out of our net and winning games in this crucial part of the season and keeping everyone fit and firing. Saka is still one of our most important pieces. So because of that, for me, it's more important to make sure he's fresh, fit, and firing for the rest of the season. Now, Arteta did say, he was asked if there were any concerns about Saka tiring between now and, throughout this run-in, and he said, no, I expect Saka to be flying. He's got a great mentality. He's excited. He's ready to go. He's got a strong mentality. He's a strong player. He's a strong person. He's ready to go. But tomorrow, for me, we have guys like Gabby Jesus, who I believe, as long as he's fit, should be starting tomorrow on the right-hand side, with Martinelli bringing him back in on the left, who, if he's fit again, which I feel like he is, since it was just a cut that had kept him out, he's had a couple of run-ins now, I believe he's ready to start. And then if we need to bring Saka on for the last 20 or 30 minutes and his hamstring is maybe 95%, I'm more comfortable with giving him the end of the game as opposed to the start. Because don't forget, we have a massive, massive tie against Bayern coming up next week. And then I believe it's Villa after that, and then Bayern again. So it might not be Villa, it might be someone else. To be honest, I didn't check the fixture list. Don't get mad at me, please. Okay, so next, Emile Smith-Rowe had a fantastic game the other day, especially the first half. I thought he played very well. I gave him a 7 now for the first half performance and a 5 in the second half. Now in hindsight, maybe I was a bit harsh on both. Maybe the first half was more of an 8. I mean, he did have a vital role to play in both goals. And he had some driving plays. He was good on the half turn. He was creative. He actually threw in quite a few tackles. I watched Arsenal's the little video they put out on Smith Rowe on YouTube, kind of like a in focus on Emile Smith Rowe. And there was a lot of instances I noticed where he got into position. He won key tackles. He won 1 or 2 tackles in the box. He won the ball high up the pitch. And he looked strong. He looked fit. He looked fast. He looked penetrative, and that's very important, and we might need that between now and the end of the season. So looking back, I would give him an 8 for the first half performance, a 5 for the second half, but since the second half was shorter, I would give him a 7 overall and bump him up from the 6 I gave him to the 7. Now, that brings us into the question, does he have a role to play between now and the end of the season? I feel like he does, yes, because, these things are still moving. Now we have a fit squad. It's great. Everyone's coming back at the perfect time. It's all awesome. It's fantastic. However, chances are someone will get hurt again between now and the end of the season, and and key players may miss games. Like Saka, I feel, shouldn't be playing on Saturday. We might lose someone like Havertz if he gets another 2 red cards in his next 2 games. We miss him for 2 matches in the league, and so. Yes, I do feel like there is a role for ESR to play, whether or not that's going to be as an impact sub off the bench, maybe another start or 2 here or there. I feel like he has a role to play, and I feel like the season ESR's story isn't over at Arsenal yet. Whether or not we keep him into next season, I think the run-in here will play a really important part as to whether or not we do keep him going into next season. However, regardless, his story isn't over. Even if he does get sold after the season in the summer, I feel like he has an important role to play between now and the end of the season, with goal contributions, with maybe some defensive work, as we saw at Luton Town, which is kind of something new. He looks more fit. He looks stronger. He looks quick. He looks more mature physically and athletically out there than the Smith Rowe of 3 years ago, when he was scoring the goal, even though he was scoring goals back then and had a much more important role to play. I do feel like now, if he can marry that aspect of his game with the new physicality he seems to have brought to the table, which makes sense. He's 23 now. He's older. He was 19, 20 when he's first getting embedded into the team. He's really growing into his body and into his athleticism and maturity as an athletic being, soccer player, football player. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to point out is Arteta's calm demeanor in press conferences. I've watched the press conference after the City match. I've watched the press conference leading up to Luton, after Luton, and I watched today's press conference. And the one common factor, denominating factor throughout all 3 press conferences, or all 4 press conferences, is how calm he seems. He seems very confident. He seems very assured. He seems very relaxed. He seems like a guy who is confident in his squad, who is confident in the title run. He's not getting too caught up in the emotions. He's calm. He's confident. He's relaxed. He's enjoying the ride. He's present, which is what I've been saying we should all be at this point in the season, is calm, present, relaxed, and enjoy these moments, guys. So no matter what the outcome, let's enjoy the current moment. And in the current moment, Arsenal's giving us so much to be happy about and so much to enjoy. And just the fact that we are in competitive matches at this point of the season is a massive achievement for me. Even off of last season, we were pretty much out of everything by this point. Or we were starting to lose our marbles in the league. And it wasn't long after this where we completely did. And we didn't have Champions League. We didn't have FA Cup. We didn't have Carabao Cup. Now we have Champions League, quarterfinals, and we are right in the thick of it in the title race. And I feel more confident this year than I did last year. This is a different squad. The mentality is different. They believe that they're the best team in the world. And so why not be confident with them? Okay, finally, I wanted to talk about the order of this weekend's matchups. So I had a look at the fixture list. So City plays first tomorrow at, I believe it's a 12:30 kickoff UK time. And then Arsenal, 4:30 kickoff UK time. And then Liverpool play on Sunday, might be a 4:30 kickoff UK time. So advantage City in terms of the order of the fixture list this weekend. Just because if City goes out and they win, well, that puts a little bit of pressure on Arsenal to win, to stay ahead of them. And then if Arsenal go out and win, then that puts a lot of pressure on Liverpool to go out and win, because if Liverpool draw or loses, they drop at least 1, if not 2 places. So, and it's gonna be like this as long as Liverpool is in the Europa League this season, where us and City are playing before Liverpool, and I think that's good. I think that's an important thing to point out. That Liverpool will be playing the last team playing every game week, and that just puts a little bit of extra pressure. Especially if we go out and win, City go out and win. Well, that just puts a little bit more pressure on Liverpool now. They know that they cannot slip up. They cannot afford at all whatsoever to slip up. Now, it could also work in their favor if Arsenal and or Liverpool lose, draw, etc., but that still keeps pressure on Liverpool to win, to extend their lead, or to draw, or whatever the case may be. So I think being one of the first two teams to play is an important factor. It may seem small, but I feel it's an important factor. And we can just an opportunity for us and for City, but us, we're looking at it from an Arsenal point of view here, to keep the pressure up on Liverpool, who are in first place right now and who are the title favorites in a lot of people's opinion. Who are the favorites in my opinion? I still think City, just because of past, just because they've proven it, they've been there before. But yeah, I digress. I'm not basing that off of math or stats or anything like that. I'm basing that off of feel and off of what I've seen this season and seasons past. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening, for jumping on, for watching. Like and subscribe as per usual. We're growing the channel up to 30,000 viewers, 30,000 subscribers, sorry. So in order to do that, I need you guys to help me out here. Please comment. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. Let me know what you think of Saka. Let me know what you think of the ESR thoughts. Let me know what you think of my thoughts on the order of the fixture lists. And yeah, let me know what you feel in terms of what you see. Do you see the same thing in Arteta? Do you see the same thing in the squad? Do you feel confident? Do you see the mentality shift? Do you feel that confidence reverberating throughout the team? Do you feel confident yourself that we're going to go and do special things this season like I do? Okay, guys, please like and subscribe. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow for a quick preview of the Brighton Arsenal match.